Hi, Cindy and Trish here.
Hello.
Day 4.
Yep. More contingencies.
Yep.
And we're continuing on the contract.
Yes, and this is good. This is contingency number 2, and contingency number 2 is your appraisal. Now, your appraisal is great. You know, if you have to order your appraisal within 14 days. We talked about that last week.
And who do you order the appraisal from?
And the buyer orders it from their lender. They have to pay their lender, and the lender goes ahead and connects with the bank. Now, here's the thing that's really good, and this was a change that happened after 2008 when all the shenanigans went on, which the banks used to be able to pick their own appraisers, but they can't anymore. They have to go into like a pool, and they'll make the order. They'll put the order in for the appraisal, and then you get shot an email and says, this is your appraiser, and this is when they're going out. And so there's none of this calling your best friend appraiser and going, hey, you know, I need you to appraise this house, and I need you to have it appraised at this number. That doesn't happen. It doesn't. You'll hear that all the time. It doesn't happen. We have professional appraisers out there. So your bank goes ahead and orders the appraisal. The appraisal is owned by the buyer. So when that appraisal comes back, the first person who gets the appraisal is you, because you get it before we get it, because it's your appraisal.
You bought it.
You bought it. You bought it, and it's yours. And then the other thing is simultaneously, I mean, you're going to get it. You'll get email number 1. We'll get email number 2. But a lot of times there are some banks that will hold on to it until you've seen it. So it's really important that when you get your appraisal back, you call us and let us know. This is all stuff that we talk you through. I mean, there's no surprise.
What happens?
Okay.
You offered and they accepted $100,000 for this house, and it gets appraised, and the appraisal comes back at $95,000.
Wow, that's a bummer. Wish I would have had my friend I could have called and gone, hey. No, what happens then? You're like, well, you know what? Why would you buy a house for $100,000 if it appraised at $95,000? You're not going to do that, and we're not going to let you do that. So here are your 2 options. You can go to the seller, and actually there's 3 options. You can go to the seller, and the seller can go ahead and say, all right, well, I'm going to reduce my price to $95,000. We write up an addendum, keep moving forward. Or you can say, I really want this house. I really, really want this house. I have $5,000. I'll pay the $5,000. Okay, write up an addendum. We move forward. Number 3, actually there's 4. Because number 3, you can just go, I'm out.
Yep.
I'm out. And that's your contingency. You get your earnest money back, and you go on your merry way. Number 4 is we can fight it. We can fight with the appraiser by pulling our own comps and pulling all the information. And that's usually the seller's agent that's going to say, oh, I know this house is worth $100,000 and I'm going to prove it. And they can go and fight with the appraiser.
Right.
You know what? 50-50 might work, might not work. But as a buyer, I would say, yeah, I don't care if you fight it or not. It came back at $95,000. You can either take it down or I'm out. Once again, we walk you through it.
Right.
We help you. We're not going to let you do this alone. The next thing is your closing expenses. Now, here's the thing. You are going to know all about your closing expenses from the get-go from your banker. You're going to get a good faith estimate. You're going to know all about the cost it is to buy this loan. The only cost that will be over and above the banker's costs are going to be your title expenses and your tax stamps that you need to pay.
And that's based on the price of the home?
That is based on the price of the home, and it's also based on whether you're paying cash or you're getting a loan. Because if you pay cash, your tax stamps are less. So it's just really interesting. I have all the formulas, but they're not here. They're on a piece of paper.
And that's always the scary
Yeah.
thing for buyers, because
Yeah.
when you start talking about expenses,
yeah.
you know, what are those expenses?
Right.
So,
And I always tell the buyer, you need to get exact, they're nothing. None of it's exact. But you need to talk to your banker and say, okay, I need to know what my
what's
closing.
this loan going to cost me?
What's it going to cost
That's
me?
the biggest expense,
Yes,
really.
it is. And the title expense, you want to pay the title expense. You really do. And that's to the title company, but they're going to do a title search and they're going to make sure that this house has clean title. That is so important. It's the best money you're going to pay.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't want somebody's late or, you know, a distant cousin coming going, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was supposed to get this house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aunt so-and-so said I could have the house. So.
The other thing about closing costs is sometimes your lender will say, hey, it's going to help you out a lot if you have the seller pay X amount of dollars in your closing costs. And usually what it comes down to is an exact number, which they could say, I've got one going right now and they want $10,000 in closing costs. And we're like, okay, yeah, the price is good enough. Yeah, I'll pay $10,000 in closing costs. What you need to understand, and you're the buyer, but from the seller's point of view, that same $100,000 house, if you say, I want $5,000 in closing costs, well, the seller goes, oh, so really you're only giving me $95,000 for that house. And so we're negotiating. Yes, we are. We're going to give you that $5,000, but that's all we're negotiating because you're taking $5,000 off the price. So that's one thing to understand, that when you're asking for the seller to pay something, that's clicking in their head that that's coming off the main price. So
It's coming out of their pocket.
it's coming out of their pocket.
Their check's going to be a little smaller.
Just a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Closing agent for the buyer and for the seller. For the buyer, we are going to suggest who we feel is a professional in the area that is a good match for you, and we have a couple title companies that we can work with. The title company for the seller, that they can use whoever they want, but they normally will use the same person as we do, just because it's so much easier to have both companies working together. But that is their choice. So it's all in here. It's all written in. Earnest money. We've talked about two different ways that saves your earnest money, and we've talked about these different contingencies. The earnest money is written to Remax Checkmate. We keep it for you. It's in our trust account, and it's your money. It is your money. And so let's say you put $5,000, which 1% is customary in this area. 1% of the sales price would be what your earnest money should be. So let's say you've got $5,000. It's in the trust account. At closing, we're going to come to closing with a check on your behalf for $5,000.
Yep, with that $5,000 check.
Yeah.
Now, the check you write, I had this happen. The
Yes.
check you write will be cashed. It will be cashed and deposited into that earnest account.
So it's not like we're going to hold it in a little safe.
Yeah.
No.
That check gets cashed.
Yeah. Closing date. We pick a date that we feel will work for everyone. It's usually between 30 and 45 days. We talk to your banker. Or if it's cash, we could get it done in 10 to 14 days. Yeah. But we'll put in a date that works for everyone involved. Prorations, we prorate taxes to the day of closing. So if you're closing April 1st, and I had this today too, so I got this down. We're closing April 1st, and we've got three months. So that was $377.87 per month. So we add those 3 months together, and we personally don't add it, but we will if you need to know what your bottom line is. We figure all this out for you. But those 3 months are going to be paid by the seller. And then the day of closing, you're going to get a credit from the seller on, it's a paper, it's transferring paper. The seller's going to give you that credit. And then when the tax bill comes at the end of the year, because in Tennessee we pay taxes in arrears, you pay the entire bill for the entire year because you already got the money. You're going to get it the day of closing.
Title company figures all that out.
All of it out.
Before you go to the closing table, the day before, usually you'll get a big sheet with it all itemized, how everything has been worked out, and where it's all coming from and where it's all going to.
Completely detailed and great.
Yeah.
Greenbelt, you got to have 15 acres, but it's a tax break. If you're buying 15 acres, that's fabulous. Special assessments would be, oh gosh, the city came through, or if you're in a condo development or
association,
something
yes.
like that, and they assess so much money for all the roofs. Well, that gets assessed to all the homeowners, and you just want to make sure that you know what you're walking into, because if you go ahead and move in and then all of a sudden you're hit every month with a $1,000 bill for an assessment you didn't know about. So we have that in here. All your warranties transfer, your association fee gets prorated, same thing. And yeah, day 5 is title.
Yep.
Yeah, we might
That was
want
that was a lot.
That was
a
a
lot
lot
to unpack there.
Yeah, that was
Yes.
a lot to unpack. So, yay! I feel good about it. I know we ramble a little bit, but please feel free to reach out to either one of us,
That's
and we
right.
can help you out.
All right.
We good?
Contingency number 2.
Yay!